So you're back again. You wanted part two. Let's talk about it. Questions to ask a breeder, part two.
Yeah, don't let these haters get in your head. Nope. Winners ain't born, winners are bred. Okay. American bully, the highest pedigree. Cold legacy kennels, no one's ahead of me. Nah. We got the color for you. Okay. From Brindle to blue, whatever color you choose. Plus they got the best temperament. Whatever you need. You want quality, this is it. Cold legacy kennels.
Yo, so what's going on, Cold Legacy Kennel subscribers to be? If you hadn't, hit that bell notification, stay in touch with what we got going, and everything will come straight to your phone if you hit that bell notification. If you got any questions, comment below. But as y'all already know, this is part two of things to ask a breeder. So let's jump right back into it. Hope you liked the first video. Video number 2, question 1 is, this is what you should ask them. Have vaccines been administered to the puppies? Meaning, have the puppies already have their shots? Have they been dewormed? Which one have they gotten? Which one are they getting? Which kind are they using? You know, all those questions right there in one question. You know, ask that question. You know what I'm saying? Do you worm your dogs, or do you take them to the vet? And if you're buying a dog from them, they should give you paperwork showing that they've been to the vet, you know what I'm saying, to have their shots. A lot of people like to give their dogs their own shots, but for selling purposes, it's best to get it sent to get the pup sent to the vet, so you can have that documentation that helps, you know what I'm saying, ease the minds of the potential buyer of that pup. You know, I would always love to see somebody, you know what I'm saying, sell me a dog that's been to the vet rather than they've given the shot themselves. You know, because anybody can say, yeah, I gave the dog a shot, and then give the dog a shot. But if you got vet paperwork saying they've been there, had their shot, then boom, you're good to go. They got their shot, ain't no worries. You know what I'm saying? You got it. You got your answer right then and there. So definitely, that's one question you should ask is, have they had their shots? All right. The next question is also pertaining to more so the health is, what is your guarantee? Are you guaranteeing that they won't have this health issue, that health issue, because they should be health tested as well, you know, before they come to you, so you won't have to deal with any pre-existing issues before you get your dog. I will be doing that as well. You know, that's something that I would do. I'll help guarantee to a certain extent. What I will not guarantee is a dog getting parvo, because parvo can come from your yard. There's nothing that on my end that could do that. So I don't do any health guarantees against parvo. Anything that you've done to cause the dog to get sick, got into some food poisoning or rat poison or something at your house, you know, there's nothing that I can do to guarantee that. That is something on the buyers, you know what I'm saying, end. If anything pre-existing that deals with me, you know, then yeah, I can, you know what I'm saying, we can figure something out and go forward with that, with my health guarantee. But being the parvos and stuff like that you can get from not taking care of the dog yourself, that'll be on you. Also, when you're buying a dog, you should take the dog to the vet within the first 3 days of purchasing the dog. That should be in the contracts of the dogs. And if you don't do that, then you kind of waive your right to say anything about any health issues, because you had 3 days to go take the dog to the vet. I ain't have the money is not an issue. You just pay a couple thousand probably for a dog, and you can't take it to go to the vet and get it checked out. That's a lack of due diligence on your part. You need to pretty much protect your investment in a sense. And if you can't do that, that's not up to us. That's not on us as breeders, you know, to cover that for you. So that's on your end. So that'll be with that of what do you guarantee. Next question is, when do I need to go for my first vet visit? Like I said, just put it out there. Didn't even pay attention to that. Was the next question right here. Like I said, the breeder give you 3 days to do it. Sometimes they give you, 4 or 5. But the more days that the breeder gives you kind of hurts that person, because then if you have, so if you had animals and you got parvo in your yard, you'll try to say you got the parvo from the breeder, and that's not the case, because the dog was doing perfectly well before he left. So definitely take the dog to the vet as soon as you can. If you can get the dog and take the dog to the vet the same day, perfect. That is what you want to do. That's the best thing to do. Don't give your dog 2 or 3 days to dwell in something. If he's going through anything, you nip it in the bud right then and there, taking your dog to the vet initially. That way you ain't gotta wait or lose track of time and 3 days passed and then you don't have those days. So definitely get your dog to the vet immediately. That way you can get a sense of who your vet's gonna be if you haven't dealt with a vet before. They get you in the system and they'll start sending you regular vets. So usually send you regular checkups, like, all right, sometimes as puppy owners, we forget that we need to go get the dog next shots or anything, but vets, they typically get your email information, your address. They'll send you a little card in the mail saying, hey, it's time for your dog next shot, deworming or something like this. Just definitely make sure that you do take your dog to the vet and get that started, and a regular visit of just looking after your dog. So that was that. When do I need to go to the first vet visit? Immediately. Asking the breeder, do they require a breeder contract? For me, I do. Some people say your dog and never see you again, never worry about it. That's not the type of breeder that you want. You want the dog breeder that is gonna constantly hit you up like, hey, how's the dog doing? Or, not in a nagging way, just they wanna know what their production is becoming. As me, I wanna know what my dog look like, 3, 6, 9, 12, 2 years, from now. I wanna know what my dog has turned out to be. I wanna know that production. So with that being said, do a breeder require a contract? Most breeders will require a contract. If you don't, if we aren't able to keep a dog, usually in a contract that says you should contact the breeder first and allow the breeder to, pick up the dog again from you. You give the dog back, or the dog breeder will help you find a home for it. So they will rehome the dog for you, so the dog won't get into, be on the streets or be, given into the wrong hands for dog fighting purposes and stuff like that. The dog breeder wants their dog taken care of, no matter, if I sold you the dog 3, 4, 5 years ago. We always want that dog to be in the best living situation that it can be in. And if you can't provide that, then you give us the dog back, and we will make sure the dog get put in the best living situation. That is that. A lot of contracts is just to protect you and to protect the buyer and different things. I won't go into the details of all the contracts as of right now, because that's a whole video in itself. You would talk for minutes about contracts and what people put in contracts. But definitely, most breeders do require a breeding contract to do those things. Next question is, do you require puppies to be spayed or neutered by a certain age? So as a breeder, and if I'm selling you a breeding stock dog, so that means the breeding quality, I do not require you to, spay or neuter the dog. But if I'm selling you a pet home quality dog, that means the dog is not breeding material. So therefore you would, it would be in the contract, like we just required a breeding contract that you have, after the dog turns a year old, because most vets will not allow you to breed dogs will not allow you to do the spay or neutering of dogs until they're a year old. That way, let their body develop first, then yes, you are required after that year to get that dog spayed or neutered. You cannot breed that dog and think that it will be okay. That is a breach of contract. And if you don't know, if you do that and it's in that contract that you lose the rights to that dog, the breeder can come for you to return that dog, you know, in a sense of you failed to meet the contractual agreement that you had to not breed that dog. So don't think you're getting a cheap dog and then you just gonna forget that the breeder said don't breed it and you go out there and breed it and you're good to go. You will lose your dog. So remember that. Do not take advantage of a person giving you a pet home quality dog at a pet home price and thinking you're gonna make some money because you think you caught a deal and you kind of scammed somebody. That is not how that works. It is in the contract. You will lose 100% of the time because you did not agree to the contractual agreement that you signed to in the initial purchase of that puppy. So remember that you will not get the puppies or anything. That dog will be returned back to the breeder. The next question, question 6 is, what are you currently feeding the puppies? A lot of people want to know, you know what I'm saying, what the breeder is feeding the puppy so they can stay on that particular breed, that particular feed, rather. A lot of people don't want to switch up, you know what I'm saying, what they're feeding the puppies at a young age. Let them stay on it, and then when they get of age and you want to try something new, if you want to switch up, you want to start your own regimen of what you're going to be providing the food for them, then yes, because there's different situations. Maybe the breeder's giving them high protein feed that you can't really just afford, you know what I'm saying, to keep paying for. Then, you know what I'm saying, you find something that works for you. But definitely, you know what I'm saying, try to stick it out, especially when the puppies are young, at what they're used to, because you know they're eating it. So as long as they're eating, then good. Don't go out there and try something new on a young pup and then they're not eating and then they're losing weight and then they end up getting sick because they're malnourished or anything like that. Try, if you can, to stick with what the dogs are being fed during the time that the breeder has them, and then maybe once they get about 3 months old, then you can switch it. You know, definitely do your best to try to stay on that topic of feed. Don't switch it up. So yeah, so that was that. Question 7 is, will you supply a health certificate and certificate of sale? I know I touched on this earlier about the health certificate of going to the vet and, you know, asking, you know what I'm saying, they doing health tests for the dogs. So most vets will give you a clean bill of health for your puppy, and the breeder will put that in the paperwork that they give you, showing that the dog has been health tested. There's no faults or congenital issues with the dog, you know what I'm saying, health wise. And the certificate of sale is pretty much like the contract saying, hey, I bought this dog for this amount from this person, sold to this person, and that is kind of like your buyer agreement contract. And they can do a bill of sale in a sense. So, excuse me, it's about 2 in the morning here while I'm doing this video, but yeah, it's a bill of sale type sense of certificate of sale, showing that this owner, this breeder, sold this dog to you. But like I said, that's the same as a buyer's contract. So definitely ask that question. All right, so question 8 is, do the breeder offer support? With that being said, is do the breeder offer support is, if I have any issues and I need to hit you up with any questions or anything, can I contact you after the sale to get any information that I need, rather than have to go to the vet or Google or whatever? If I can I ask you for any type of support that help me with this pup because maybe the breeder knows something that you don't, that'll help you feed your dog if your dog stop eating, or whatever, your dog just chilling and doesn't seem to want to function like he regularly does. Dogs are moody just like we are, so certain things we see, we go through, they go through. Breeders would tell you to either take your dog to the vet, do this home remedy, just different things. If you want to try to train your dog, or if you want to feed your dog, how often should you feed your dog? You hit the breeder like, hey, how often were you feeding them? How often should I feed them? How much should I feed them? Should I change their water every day? Definitely. Just do something to, help you out. The breeder should offer that support. A good breeder will always leave their phone open for you, especially with you giving them the business that they have gotten from you, because you might be a repeat buyer, and a good breeder doesn't want to lose that customer. So always remember that you definitely, want that support from that breeder. And if they don't offer that, then maybe you need to look at another breeder, because sometimes a breeder is just not the person that you need to be purchasing from. All right. Number 9, which is the final question, and it's a kind of a broad question of what can come with it. 9 is, what do you provide with the sale of the puppy? All right, so I'm gonna read this, because I put some stuff in there that you need to know that can potentially, doesn't always, come with it, but potentially can come with the puppy when it's bought. And it's good that some of this stuff comes with it. So when you're finally ready to pick up your puppy, a breeder will provide some of these things right here. There's a few examples. A copy of the dog medical records. Like I said, there's shots, they have certificate, stuff like that, knowing that they done been through anything or anything like that. All that will be provided. That should be standard. Copy of the certifications that hey, this dog is certified to be registered with the ABKC, UKC, ABSR, stuff like that. The pedigree information that is on the paperwork that you will get. You should get that paperwork when you fill out your registry to register your puppy. When you come get that back, that should be the full registration for your puppy. Receipt for payment, that's that certificate of sale. The contract, that if you have a contract with that person, it shall be in there as well. A copy of that should be put in there. Next one is kind of based on the breeder, is a couple days worth of food that they were feeding. Now, for me, I will put that in I will give you a little bit of what I have, give you like a week's worth of dog food so you can get, get your own. But definitely, it would be nice. All breeders will not do this. Some breeders just tell you what they got. Some will not give you a little bit. And for me, I don't mind. I might let you know, especially if you want to go ahead and get your own. If you're going, because a lot of people, I promise you, I did it. A lot of people do it. As soon as they get their dog, they go to pet stores, Walmart, or whatever, and they load up on dog toys, dog food, dog bowls, everything. So if that's what you want to do, hey, by all means, love your pup. Hey, the pup has a great person. If they're doing that, I mean, they're caring for the dog. So definitely do that. Contact information. You should always have the breeder contact information. No matter what, they should always give you that. Like I said, if a person buys or sells you a dog and they do not, care, they just drop the dog off, get in your car and go about your business, that's bad business. You should have in a sense, you should be connected with that breeder for the life of the dog. For the life. I want to know from me, I want to know from the time you get them to, like I said, to they old and gray, I want to know the potential and production that I put out. So you should have that contact information, and you should be in contact with that breeder for the life of the dog. Definitely. The guarantee information, which should be in the contract as well, is you guaranteeing that this dog is free of any illness or anything. Specific instructions about care, you know, if you need that, treatments, if the dog is on any medications, if he had a little, you know what I'm saying, issue, and you still purchased the dog and it was nothing life-threatening and they was on medication, make sure you stay doing that. A lot of dogs have little hair patches mentioned, so go to the vet, better get them something to clear that right up. So I mean, that's normal, it happens, don't be alarmed. And the last thing some people also put in there is a towel or item that was with the puppies and the mother while they was being whipped, so that'll be a familiar smell to them in their cage. So definitely, you know, be appreciative if a breeder is offering you all this, because a lot of people don't. And with me, I'm learning what to all include and what, you know what I'm saying, what's best for the people. So definitely, you know, be appreciative when you get this information. That was my last question of this video. This is part 2. I hope this is a lot of information, and I just did 2 videos, and we're at 22 minutes right now for this video. So definitely, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of information. That's why it was a part 2. Don't be afraid to ask these questions for your pup, because you putting your money into these breeder hands, they should be able to ask all of these questions that you have of them. Don't think, you know what I'm saying, that a breeder shouldn't care. A breeder cares, or a good breeder cares about their dogs. Don't worry about, you know, not being able to be receptive from a breeder. You know, ask the questions, and if they have an issue answering your questions, then you know right offhand that is not the breeder that you should be dealing with. So do your due diligence. Make sure you ask your questions, any other questions that you may have that you come up with. Don't be afraid to ask. Dumb question is a question that's not asked. You know, always ask your questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Remember that. So that was part 2. Hope y'all like it. I know it was a little lengthy, but it was great information that I wanted to share with you guys. And always make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, because I'm getting into full form of putting out great content for you guys. And definitely, you know what I'm saying, stay tuned, because videos are coming out, you know what I'm saying, like hotcakes, you know. So C.L.Kennels, subscribers to be, thank you. I appreciate you. And as always, C.L.Kennels out.